Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kroy Biermann claims he was isolated, imprisoned, and silenced during Kim-Zolciak marriage. Kroy Biermann hinted that his marriage to estranged wife Kim-Zolciak Biermann wasn't filled with fond memories. "I will never stop praying for her. But I will no longer stay silent," Biermann, 38, wrote via his Instagram story on Monday, September 9. "I was isolated, imprisoned, and silenced for almost 13 years. What's been mentioned in motions is only the tip of the iceberg." Biermann claimed that fans were witnessing narcissistic shaming abuse in Zolciak Biermann's recent interview with TMZ. Earlier on Monday, the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum, 46, alleged that she is paying for everything amid her and Biermann's ongoing divorce. "I'm the one who pays all the bills. All the kids' clothes, all the school clothes, most of the food," she claimed to the outlet. "He has not paid a bill in that house. He's paid 2 electric bills in the last 18 months. Not a cable bill, water bill, phone bill, nothing. That man has not paid a bill in that house. My daughter, Brielle, has helped more than he has." Zolciak Biermann also alleged that the tumultuous relationship between her and Biermann was just a game for the former football player. "He said if I ever divorced him, he would destroy me publicly," Zolciak Biermann claimed. In addition to their breakup, Biermann and Zolciak Biermann have fought over assets, including their Georgia home. The pair are currently trying to sell the property, which came close to foreclosure last year. "We're trying to sell the house," Zolciak Biermann said of the duo's home. Who would take a $3.5 million offer on a $5.5 million appraisal? Nobody. Kim-Zolciak Biermann and Kroy Biermann's relationship timeline. Biermann, for his part, responded to the Bravo personality's allegations via his lawyer. "At the end of the day, a house is worth what someone is willing to pay for it, not its appraisal," attorney Marlies A. Bergstrom told Us Weekly on Monday. "If Kim is waiting to get $5.5 million for a house that is on the brink of foreclosure, she's going to be waiting a very long time." The lawyer continued, "I find it ironic that this interview took place at Lax. Who's watching the kids? The answer is Kroy. He's in Georgia working 40-plus hours a week, taking care of the kids and trying to get the marital residence sold so that family can avoid foreclosure." Kim-Zolciak Biermann and Kroy Biermann's divorce, custody battle, and more. Everything to know. Zolciak Biermann and Biermann filed for divorce in May 2023. 2 months later, the pair reconciled and dropped the petition. Their reconciliation did not last long, as Biermann filed for divorce a second time weeks later. The pair have been at odds over finances and custody of their children. Zolciak Biermann and Biermann share kids KJ, 13, Cash, 12, and twins Kaya and Kane, both 10. Biermann also adopted Zolciak Biermann's now adult daughters from a previous relationship, Brielle and Ariana, in 2011. In July, a judge scheduled a trial date for Zolciak Biermann and Biermann's divorce. According to docs obtained by Us at the time, they will be in court Tuesday, November 5, and Wednesday, November 6. The twosome were recommended to undergo mediation for numerous unresolved issues ahead of the trial date to avoid trial. Kroy Biermann claims he was isolated, imprisoned, and silenced during Kim-Zolciak marriage, a deep dive into the struggles of a hidden life. In a world where relationships are often put on display, the intimate struggles of those behind closed doors can sometimes be as surprising as they are heartbreaking. Recently, Kroy Biermann, a former NFL player and ex-husband of reality TV star Kim Zolciak, has come forward with some shocking claims about his marriage. In a candid revelation that is both raw and vulnerable, Biermann claims that throughout his marriage to Kim Zolciak, he felt isolated, imprisoned, and silenced. These words have sparked a cascade of reactions from fans, critics, and onlookers, all wondering what led to this dramatic shift in their relationship narrative. Here, we break down Biermann's claims, the implications, and what these revelations mean for both parties involved. The allegations of isolation, trapped in a bubble. Kroy Biermann's claim that he was isolated during his marriage to Kim Zolciak speaks volumes about the emotional toll he may have endured. Isolation in a relationship doesn't just refer to physical separation. It can be an emotional and mental entrapment. According to Biermann, during their marriage, he was kept apart from the outside world. His interactions with family, friends, and even colleagues were minimized or restricted. Isolation, a psychological concept often employed in controlling or toxic individuals to feel as though their world is reduced to one sole influence, the partner controlling their reality. Zolciak, a reality TV star best known for her role on The Real Housewives of Atlanta and her own spin-off show, Don't Be Tardy, often portrayed an image of a glamorous and lavish life. But behind the scenes, Biermann alleges this image was only a facade for the deeper issues they were facing privately. The grand house, the expensive vacations, the public personas, none of it, according to Biermann, reflected the truth of the dynamics within their home. Biermann claims that this outward appearance masked an emotionally isolating environment where his needs were either ignored or silenced. The isolation wasn't only about being physically distant from the world outside the home. Biermann speaks of emotional isolation as well. He contends that his voice was often stifled, and his needs and desires went unaddressed. Kim Zolciak's career, public persona, and family dynamics often took center stage, leaving little room for Biermann's individuality to thrive. Over time, the isolation became overwhelming, leading him to feel imprisoned in a relationship that increasingly seemed to revolve around one person's desires. Imprisoned. A love that turned into a cage. Biermann's accusation of being imprisoned during the marriage is perhaps the most emotionally charged of all his claims. Imprisonment in the context of a marriage does not necessarily mean physical confinement. Instead, it can speak to the feeling of being trapped within the confines of one's relationship, with limited control or freedom to live life on one's own terms. According to Biermann, this sense of entrapment was not merely a fleeting feeling but a pervasive issue throughout much of their time together. In their marriage, it appears Biermann may have felt like he was slowly losing himself. His personal autonomy and sense of identity may have been subsumed by the larger-than-life persona that Zolciak maintained. Being in a public relationship with someone like Zolciak, who thrived in the spotlight, could have meant that Biermann was always second in line. His life was overshadowed by her fame, and his individuality, especially in a marriage, was suffocated by the constant pressure to conform to a predefined narrative. The idea of imprisonment can also extend to the psychological effects of living in such an environment. When one partner dominates, it can feel like a constant battle for recognition, validation, and basic emotional connection. Biermann's accusation suggests that he was trapped not just by circumstances, but by a psychological manipulation that left him feeling powerless in the relationship. This is not uncommon in relationships where one partner holds more power or influence, creating a dynamic where the other feels less than, even invisible. Silenced, the struggle to be heard. Perhaps the most painful of Biermann's claims is that he felt silenced during his marriage. For any partner, feeling that their voice does not matter can be one of the most disempowering experiences. This sense of being unheard is often the result of control or dismissal, where one partner dominates the conversation, leaving the other with no space to express themselves. Biermann's assertion that he was silenced implies that his thoughts, feelings, and needs were ignored, leaving him emotionally stifled. In their years together, it seemed that Zolciak's voice often drowned out Biermann's, particularly in the public sphere. Zolciak, a larger-than-life personality on television, thrived in the spotlight, while Biermann, the former football star, had a quieter, more private existence. Their divergent roles in their marriage created a stark contrast between the public and private aspects of their relationship, with Biermann claiming that his role in their lives was reduced to that of a background figure. The silencing wasn't just about public persona. It was about the lack of recognition in their daily lives. The toll on mental health. Living in such an emotionally turbulent environment undoubtedly takes a toll on one's mental health. Biermann's claims suggest that his marriage to Zolciak may have left him dealing with feelings of anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. Feeling isolated, imprisoned, and silenced can contribute to a fractured sense of self-worth, leading one to question their value in the relationship. Mental health professionals often warn that such experiences, when sustained over time, can lead to emotional exhaustion, trauma, and a diminished sense of identity. While Biermann has not elaborated in great detail about the mental health effects of his marriage, his claims suggest that his emotional well-being was significantly impacted. This type of emotional turmoil, especially when hidden behind the bright lights of reality TV and public appearances, can be exhausting. Being in a toxic relationship can be isolating enough.